Okay, hello, it's me again, and my cat says hello. So these are the books. The paint is all dry and everything, so you can see that everything looks great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and do the second layer. I've got this really cool honeycomb stencil. Deco Art makes it, so you can buy it, on their website or Amazon or something. What I like to do is I like to take like two at a time like this, and I'm gonna take a little bit of paint, and it's handy if you have one of these little paint trays. They're like 50 cents or so at any craft store. Just a little bit of paint. And let's see. You're gonna take the brush dry. Don't wet it in water. You're gonna put it dry because it makes for a better transfer. The paint goes on better that way. You can use inks and stuff like that, but I find that they get clogged a lot and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So, and this is, folk art paint, so you really shouldn't need water, really. So I don't know about where you guys live, but today it's a little bit windy in Northeast Ohio, and my animals, or the animals in the home, are quite rambunctious, especially my cat. What the hell? Like, bro is acting like he's never seen wind like this before. So I put it dry and it makes an interesting effect. Looks cool, but don't worry if it doesn't look the way you want it to look. You're gonna paint over that anyway, so it's pretty okay. I'm gonna do this one. And you want them to all be a little bit different, so you're not gonna have the same pattern. Like I did that whole book, but I'm not gonna do that for this one because I want them to all be a little bit different. So kind of go like that, and again, I still haven't dipped my paintbrush in the water. I did not at all. So we're gonna take these, put these aside, and we're gonna do the other two. And I'm gonna pick another stencil to use, but I'm still gonna probably use the same color because why not, right? So when I'm thinking about what kind of stencil to use, I usually go by like my favorites. Like I have my favorite, couple of stencils that I love, and that's what I use. So if you hear the dog barking, sorry about that. They don't understand, or they just, I don't know, something wrong with them. I don't know. Anyway, but hopefully you can still hear me. It should be fine. He does not barking that loud. He's just probably like, oh my god, it's windy, what's going on? What's going on? Why is it windy? Why? What's happening? Maybe that's what he's saying. That's Dingo, who really loves barking. Depot. I feel like we have partners like that too. They just love getting in bar fights and shit. So that looks really cool. It looks like fish bones. Which, speaking of which, is one of my favorite bands of all time. Fishbone, I love them. So when this dries, we're gonna again wait for the paint to dry, and then come back to it and build another layer. The thing about doing abstract art is that a lot of the times it's like a lot of waiting, for like paint to dry, because you're working on building up all these different layers and stuff, and you know, you have to wait for the paint to dry in between each layer. So usually what I like to do is I like to work on another project while I wait for the paint to dry. So this is what we've got so far, and I think I like it so far, but this is just the first layer. Don't be begging for food. You already have food. Don't even start. That's my cat who keeps begging for food. Bro, he already has food. He legit was, his food is legit right over there. Anyway, so this is the first layer. We're gonna wait for the paint to dry and do something else. But again, when you're building up the stencils like that, make sure that the brush is dry, because the paint just goes on better that way. Because if the paint is watery, it's not really gonna, it's gonna smear, and then it won't capture the image the right way from the stencil. Plus, if you're using folk art paint like I do, it's already kind of liquidy enough. So yeah, I'll come back when this is all dry. All right, so I'm back. Now, paint is dry on these, and what I went ahead and did was I painted. I have these painted papers that I've blogged about before. I made a couple other videos where I showed, you know, I have copy paper. I'm trying to see if I have it on me, but I get copy paper, and I wipe all my stencils and my brushes on them, and it makes this really cool paper that's basically got art on it. So what I went ahead and did was I cut out some shapes. I cut out some teardrops, and I cut out some clouds, just in different color, in different shapes, different sizes and stuff like that. And I figured it would look really cool placed on here like that. I'm gonna make some with clouds on them and some with teardrops. Or I could take the teardrop and do that, but I wanted, I didn't want to make the same kind of thing, so they all look different, you know what I mean? But we're not ready for that yet. The first thing we're gonna do right now is get another layer down. Why not, right? I'm gonna get some of this matte acrylic and that's the one. I got this at Pat Catan's. I'm gonna take the end of a I'm gonna take the tip of the paintbrush, and I'm gonna dip that in here, and I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna make little polka dots. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, good. And I'm gonna do that on the parts of the cover that don't have stencil mark on it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna do this. All right. There we go. Now, this belongs there. Now what we're gonna do is one of my favorite things. I'm gonna take maybe this one, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put it over it. Press it. Wow, it is super duper windy today. It's crazy. And I've made a print on both of them. So that looks pretty cool. Now I'm gonna do that again in a different color. Because again, I like to make sure that I do things differently. I don't want each one to be completely the same, though this is a very similar color. This is Americana Deco Art in violet. But I mean, whatever. I try not to make too many to be very similar. That's the bottom line for me. You know, for me, anything that you buy, that I create, I'm not going to mass produce. Because then that's not art. Then it's just, you might as well buy it at Walmart. I think for me, the joy in buying handmade is the fact that it's not mass produced. You know, in huge, large amounts. That's what I love about it. And again, I don't have like this major plan for how the end result is going to be. I said that in the beginning of the video, because I really don't. Like, I just kind of go with what feels right. I think that in life and in art, you gotta go with what feels right, you know, in your gut. Just listen to that feeling inside you that says what you should and shouldn't be doing. Sometimes we listen to that voice, and sometimes we don't. But if we were to listen to that voice a little more, I think probably we would make less of the fuck-up mistakes that we usually end up making. But, you know, maybe mistakes are a part of life, and maybe we don't, maybe they weren't mistakes after all. Maybe they were something that you were meant to do. Maybe you were meant to date that wrong person so that you can figure out what it is that you want, you know, in the right person. Maybe you were meant to have, I mean, and it's not the case with everything. Nobody means to, you know, have things like addiction or whatever, but, you know, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, so we're gonna take this again, we're gonna do the same thing. I like to press it. Oswald, what are you doing? And there we go. I got these really cool prints. And I like the way it looks. Let's see if you can see it a little bit better. Like that. It looks pretty cool. So then comes the decision of what we're going to put where. I'm going to let this dry for a little bit and come back to it when the polka dots are dry. And then do a finishing touch with these. All right. I'm back. So the paint is dry, and if you notice, I added another color, like a nice mint color. Let me see, I got it right here. It is this. That's a color I went ahead and used. Now I did the same process that I did before. Ozzy, don't touch that, okay? So I've got this spray adhesive. and I really like it. And because it's like spray adhesive, but without the fumes. Do you know what I mean? So this is basically like the glue sticks, if you will. So that's what that's about. I've decided that I'm going to take a couple of the, I'm going to take these little clouds like this and take a teardrop. Maybe I got a pair of scissors somewhere, or I got a smaller one. There we go. So I'm gonna do that. You are not hungry. You have literally food right over there. Don't even try it. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get the glue over here. Cuddling up to me isn't gonna make me get you more food, buddy. So I'm gonna see if this works, and then if not, I'll just cut and get some real glue, I suppose. All right. Why would they have something that doesn't even work? Do you even like check shit? Like, what the fuck? All right. All right. Okay, I'm back with my vape and with glue that actually works. So I'm just gonna bead a little bit of glue, if this even works. Is this on? Open? All right. I don't really keep a whole lot of glue around because I just don't really use it. I haven't done much like real crafts in a long time. Mostly I've been making art and jewelry and stuff. Oh, well, Ozzy wants to say hello. Say hi, Ozzy. Hey, hi, I'm Ozzy. I'm sometimes an asshole. Look at my pooter. Likes to show everyone his pooter. His pooter being his butthole. Come on, Ozzy. Get in front of the camera.
Hey, this is my little kitty cat. That's my little kitty cat.
No? He didn't want to say hello. Oh well. Sorry. He's gonna watch from a distance. Okay. So we got this open. It had a little seal. Gonna bead a little bit of glue on here. If this is this open? God damn it. It's like I'm having technical difficulties or something. Okay. I'm back without any further ado. Here we go. I'm gonna get some clouds. Apply some glue on here. And stick it on there. So I'm going to do that for all of these. I'm going to place the clouds on here. And then the raindrops. I'm going to do this for all four of them, and then I'm going to let it dry. And then we'll come back and add a few more details. Okay? Okay, so I'm back, and as you can tell, I glued all the clouds on all of the four little books. If you're following along at home, if you're using liquid glue, make sure that you flatten all the bubbles out and everything like that, because I know. My bird says he agrees, probably. So I've got these charcoal pencils, charcoal sticks here. I'm gonna take one out, if it decides to cooperate. Stay with me. And what I'm going to do is break off a piece. I'm going to go over the edges of the cloud with a little bit of this charcoal pencil. And the last step, I'm not going to show it on camera because I got to go outside for that, is to spray it with some workable fixative, just so that the charcoal kind of does rub off or whatever. So if you're going to stick this in your purse or your bag or whatever, that's probably something you wouldn't want to happen. Just smudge the edges because that's what I feel like doing. And then go over it again. A little bit more of the charcoal pencil. And I'm going to do that for all 4 of them. I'll show you the first one. I know, hello? I know. That's what I'm doing. This one doesn't need, I feel like, a second bit. It's probably fine just the way it is. Let's see, that looks interesting. And then I'm going to go over this right here, over the teardrop. Just go over the edges. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can just take the idea, and do what you feel like doing. I like that way. That looks cool. I'm going to do that for the rest of these because I like to do that. The great thing about working with the charcoal pencil is that it can be a bit forgiving. If you don't really like it, go over it lightly, and then if you don't like the effect, you can always rub it off. That's what she said. I wanted to go over it with this charcoal pencil just because I feel like it gives it more of an interesting look. It makes all the other colors pop out, I feel like. And then the great thing is you can do this. Right? There you go. And this is the finished product. I'm going to do the rest of them and show you what they all look like all done. Alright, so I'm back and I went ahead and I've done all 4 books. You can see what they look like. I know, the charcoal gives it a different effect, makes the colors stand out a little bit more, makes it look a little bit more interesting. I like how it looks. If you want to waterproof it or whatever, again, I recommend some workable fixative. You can get that at any. Thank you. You can get that at any craft store, any art supply store, whatever. And the brands that I used for this video, I used Deco Art paints. I used Apple Barrel. And this is Winsor & Newton charcoal sticks. So that's it. There's not much to it. I hope you liked the video. I'll have pictures and everything up on my website. It's thecraftaholic.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and share this with all your friends. Thanks. Bye.